It's a nice feature.
Hopefully, yeah. So I added the Q&A. Oh, it says this feature is disabled. I wonder why. Somebody done work. I hope this is not. This is public by any chance. Well, if it is, that's it.
Well, you can take. Did you, when you were filling out the little form there, did you put public or did you put?
Yeah, I think I removed it, but just
Yeah, if you removed it, then it's not public.
okay. Hopefully not.
You can always change those settings later, though.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Where
in
edit
YouTube.
event in YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a public event created by. Oh shit.
Don't worry. We'll see if a lot of random people show up. That.
Okay. Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
I made a few of those errors to where for some of the front end dev meetings that I don't know what happened, but somehow I emailed half of the people I know and invited them to a front end dev meeting. And I was
Yeah? And
months
did they join?
later, I was like, I was still getting I was running into people like, hey dude, what was that front end meeting about? I was like, what? No. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
anyway,
like 10 people said that they will be joining. For now we are 4.
4.
Yeah. So I don't know, just I'll wait one more minute. I think like or
Yeah.
maybe the time well they said they were joining, so I'm not sure what happens.
Is Zoran on this? I feel like he is. I'm gonna ping people now.
And Steven said, and Nikhil said, although I think he's feeling he's rather under the weather at this point.
Oh, Nikhil's jumping in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He said,
his mic is not working, apparently.
oh, okay. Well, he can use the chat to ask questions. I cannot enable the Q&A module for some reason. It says this feature is disabled. Bam, bam.
Bum, interesting.
So you can use the chat.
Yeah.
So ask questions.
Oh, neat.
Hi there, Nikhil. So, first of all, I'm sorry that you're feeling, well, I'm sorry for your difficulties. But, and second of all, you can ask questions in the chat there. So I heard you have no
Indeed.
mic. So
Don't hesitate to ask questions.
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Same goes for Zoran. He can listen, but he can't talk.
Jordan? Who's Jordan?
Zoran.
Zoran. Zoran, he didn't join. Zoran asked me something about Grant. That's.
What about, is Nico still on this? Cool. Are we waiting on anyone else?
Well, I think so. We can start whenever you guys feel like. So I'll screen share with you my desktop and hopefully you will see the right screen. Oh, you're not. You'll see the wrong screen. God damn it. Why don't you see the right screen? Let me see. Let's try this again.
I don't know. This is a publicly broadcast event, Colleen.
Yes.
We have millions watching.
Okay, never mind. So you see the wrong screen, but we'll do it then all on the wrong screen then. So here is a wonderful browser Windows, and here is the console for your amusement, and here are the notifications from Zoran. chatting with me about stuff. Um, and the ID, where is the ID? We'll do that stuff, some stuff from the ID. Okay, so the plan for, if you were seeing the plan, it was written in a Sublime just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, so here is the ID. We won't use that at the moment, so we minimize that. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, actually, we will be. I'll try to show you a typical Git workflow, like the way I use it and the way I've used it for a long time, for a period now. And I'll explain how I arrived at this usage pattern and why what are some of the issues that we avoid by using this workflow. In order for me to demonstrate this workflow, I'm not just going to sit here and tell you, oh, we're going to work on a project, on a real project. Like, I was looking at projects and I couldn't, the one I could find was a project of mine. So yeah, sorry for being so, yeah, okay. So the project we're going to work on, it's called Fog Akamai. It's a gem. Have you guys used Fog before in Rails projects? Well, Fog, it's an abstraction to a cloud. So you get all these providers have like S3 or Google have Fog plugins, and it easily allows you to access their cloud with a unified interface. I don't know if some of you heard about Akamai. Akamai, it's a silly CDN, the biggest CDN in the world, but actually they have really poor service. And I decided to build a gem for them. Blah, blah, blah. This gem gets adopted in the Fog and so on. Okay, so we have our Fog gem here. And this is the main project, right, that we want to work on. Okay, so the first thing that we'll go ahead and do is we create a fork for this project, right? Fork it on our own, and here we go. We have our brand new fork, which is great. And we can suppose we worked, like this part you already know, like it's okay. It's nice to have your own fork, because on your own fork you can do all sorts of crap and nobody cares. It's your fork, you can delete it and so forth. Furthermore, on the master Fog, this one, on the master branch, I encourage people that own it to protect their branches, to protect, for example, to protect the master branch. And by enabling protection on the master branch, you actually you won't allow people to do force pushes, for example, on the master branch, or delete the master branch. So the main repository, it's always the how you call it, the gold standard. I think that's the name. It's something that you can always fork from, and it will have the best code possible, right? So this is the goal here, to always have the best code possible on the. Okay, so we forked it. We all did this fork stuff. Supposedly, I have this fork for a while. I've been working for a while on this, and now I want to solve some of the issues. So if we look here, we have like 3 issues open. We have some mocking that's not working. We want to add a build for Travis, or we want to add CodeClimate. Any, mini, miny, mo. We go with the CodeClimate one. Okay. So we want to work on this feature, the CodeClimate feature. Okay, so this is very similar to what we do, right? We have our main fork, and we want to work on a feature. Our features are held in Asana, but this makes no difference. Here we have a feature in Git. So before starting working, so we have our nice little feature here. CodeClimate. We have our fork here, and before starting working on the feature, the first thing that we want to do is, well, supposedly we already cloned the repository. So let's see what we cloned here. Git remote -v. Okay, so I have my fork, which is, interestingly enough, my fork, it's actually the origin remote, right? So I guess I should have done a raise of hands. Do you guys have any knowledge of the Git terminology? Like, okay, who knows what a fork is? Well, who knows what a repository is?
You're
Okay, okay, let me ask the other way. Who doesn't know what a repository is, please say something or type in the chat. Okay, everybody knows what a repository is. Okay, great. Who knows what a fork is? Who doesn't know what a fork is? Can you imagine what a fork is? Everybody has an idea what a fork is, okay? Guys, don't be shy. I'm not judging you or anything, right? We want to get this real clear now, okay? So we know what a repository is. We know what a fork is. Who knows what a remote is? Is the concept of a remote, somebody has something unclear with it? No. Okay, great. So the first thing that we want to do, we want to have our remotes set right? And the way I set it right is that the origin remote, which happens to be the default place where things get pushed if you do a random push, should always be your fork, right? You should have this as origin. This avoids issues where you randomly push to let's say to the master to the main repository, right? Avoids most of these issues. If you really want to, then you still can. But like if you push something, if I do a git push now, it will push to origin, right? If I don't specify anything else. This is usually a bad idea, but if you don't specify anything else, then it will push to origin. So have this as origin, right? The next thing that we want to do, and this depends on your, you want to add this remote. You want to add the main remote. Like some people call it upstream, some people call it main. I, for example, call it as the name of the user that I forked from. So my repositories will be, for example, my main remotes will usually be Patron team, for example, or in this case Fog. But just to be more consequent with naming, we'll just call our main repository upstream, okay? So we'll go ahead and add our remote, git remote add upstream, and we will add this is the main remote, right? Original upstream, right? Okay, so remember, we want to work on our feature. Our feature is to add the code, code climate to this repository and get a report on how awesome or not awesome this repository is, right? Do you guys know what code climate is? Come on, I know at least one of you doesn't know what code climate is. Come out and say it. Okay, never mind.
Guilty.
You don't want to say it. Yeah, it's a tool that measures shows you looks for code smells basically in your repository automatically, and it gives you a mark, and it gives you yes, yes, Nikhil. The problem is the way you have your remotes configured. So in order to, you should and you should see that your origin should always be your fork, and your upstream origin, like the fetch and push, okay, and your upstream should be usually the main repository, okay. Okay, so then you probably did something git push upstream. Yeah, minus v or minus vv. That's the same thing. In my minus 1v. You should get it there. We can look we can look at your Nikhil, we can look at your example exactly, but following this, just wait until the end and you'll see what the thing is, right? So our goal is to solve the cold climate thing, right? The issue. So in order to do this, we have our remote set up and we want to start working. And what do we do? The first thing what we do when we start working on a feature? Who wants to answer that? Come on, guys. Give me some feedback here. Yeah, anybody fall asleep?
Wide awake.
Yeah, git pull. Well, that's a good idea. But what I do is that the first thing is I want to check. I want to see if my teammates did something, right? So I'll go and fetch the upstream.
Yes. Thank you. Good answer.
Okay, so I went and fetched the upstream. Well, in this case, give me a new branch, but usually it just says usually it fetches the branches that were updated in the upstream. Now, in most of our configuration, the only branch that you should receive for upstream, it's master. Usually that's what if you receive some other random branches, they will push there by mistake or by a very unknown and undesirable reason. Okay, so I get the upstream master. So now I have my master and upstream master. Now, what is a good way to visualize this? I'll show you here in let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see if you can see this, guys. So here it is, right? So you see, this is everything. Like, this is the remote. I explain why it's a straight line, but let's I see this is me, right? This is my head. This is my master. This is the origin master. Origin is my fork, right? This is where I'm at, right? And this is the upstream master. So somebody, me, has done something already in the so a teammate already did something in the upstream master, right? So my goal is just to get these changes over to my branch, right? So that's in order to achieve our goal, right, we fetch the changes, we look over them and see, oh, that's cool, somebody added the Akamai doc. Oh, it's a PDF. That's great. Okay. So in order for us to get these changes, we should make sure we are on master. Let's see. Okay, we are on master. And we should move, like, the idea is our head, our master, should be the same as the upstream master. Now, how do we achieve that at this point? If we follow, if everything was merged into master and master wasn't filled with it, I should be able to fast forward my head, right? As you can see here, I just move my head forward, pop, like this, because master the gold copy only got commits added to it. It didn't move backwards. It didn't move sideways or anything. It just got commits added to it. So I don't have to do a pull. I don't have to. Well, I have to do a merge, but actually it's the simplest of merges, and that's a fast forward. So that means that you can browser of choice, but I'll show you from the console. It's git merge fast forward only, and we move our head to the upstream master. Bang, great. So now our master, let's see how this looks. So great. So now our master, our head, our local branch master and upstream master are in the same place. Okay, fantastic. We're in a good place. The next thing will be to make sure well, this is not actually required, but it's a good thing to have it like this, is to make sure that our fork has the latest master, right? And now, how do we do this? So we want our fork to have the latest master. Ta-now, 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 ta-now. Okay, we do a push. This is the last answer this is the last question I will answer for you. We do a push, right? We git push, but we just do a simple push like this. I think that was removed. Like we do a push on our fork. So which is our fork is, everybody together, origin. Okay, and we push master. Ba-bam. So that's it. Great. So now, before we started working on our feature, we did what? We fetched upstream. We looked over what stuff was added there from our colleagues. We moved our head, make sure our master is the same as our master, upstream master. So the way we did that, we fast forwarded our head to the upstream master, and then we pushed the new master to our origin just to have a copy of our a clone of our gold standard there. Okay, so now we're good to go. Now we're good to start working on our feature. Finally. Okay, so let's take that difference. The fetch only brings you the changes. It doesn't affect any. So the question from Nikhil is, what's the difference between pull and fetch? Fetch will only bring you the changes and doesn't do any changes to your local branches. So when I do a fetch from a remote, it brings me the changes from that remote, but doesn't touch my head in any way or my local branches. It's up to me if I want to do anything, right? When you do a git pull, you will try to move your head. You will try to automatically move your head to master. For example, if I would have done a git pull, it would have tried to bring my local branch master current with upstream, which I don't necessarily like. I will want that, but I want to have control over this stuff, right? So I do a fetch. I look at the changes just to get in the habit of looking at what happened while I was sleeping, and then I fast forward my head. Does that make sense? Guys.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. one more thing. This is something that I developed, right? I'm not saying I'm holding the absolute truth here. This is something that I do, and it's been like and I arrived to it by doing many mistakes before, right? So it looks like it works for now, right? So the thing that I like about fetch versus pull, and it's a very good question, Nikhil, is that I get the chance and I get in the habit of looking what other people have done in the meantime, like while I was missing out, while I was sleeping or something else. Okay, so we did our fetch. We're run. Now what's the next thing that we want to do, right? Working on our feature. Come on, what's the next thing? It's written all over the place in documentation. Not all over the place, but in the right place is written. So we have our current master. Everything is good. We're set to start working on our feature. What do we do now? Yes, a feature branch. Nikhil is a A student. Are you sure you're sick? I'm wondering how you're performing when you're feeling okay. Sorry, man. I'm joking. Just yeah, sorry. Just feel free to slap me if I'm out. Okay. We do a branch, right? A couple of ways to do branches. We can do like a git checkout minus, and this creates a branch, and you can name them. You can do and the name of the branch, but then you have to manually check out this branch, okay? Or you can use a tool like the tool, like your ID. If you have an ID which is capable of doing branches, and you create a branch, like we name our branch number. Let's see here, add code climate. Oh, happens to be feature 1. Let's see, 1. Oh, this is boring. This is a boring branch name. Okay, code climate. I think 1. I think this works. Okay, so we did our feature branch on top of the latest master, right? Okay, so we're good. So we're writing our feature now. What was our feature? Code climate. We want to add code climate. How do we do that? Well, let's go to the code climate. See what they say. Well, they say, ooh, okay, we want to add code climate to this repository. And how do we do that? We go integration. Code climate platform. How do we add code climate? What was that? That's for tests, sub coverage. There was this thing when you had to add a. Oh, here it is. Analyst configuration. Right? We need to add this file, code climate YAML. Okay? And they advise us to download a patch, which I already did, downloaded the patch. And in order to add a patch to our git code climate patch, and it applied a patch. Not a big deal. What it actually did, it created this file, code climate YAML, and it added all sorts of stuff here. It excludes tests. I don't know why it excludes tests, for example, because tests are code also, and they should be climated also. So we don't like that change. We did it. It's great. We add this file to the repository. We commit it, and we do something along this line on feature 1, add code default config. Okay, so we make our first commit. Like the imperative style here that's used, you think as this as a command going like something like to help you figure this. A tip that I saw to help you think of the commit message is that think as the commit messages as commands, and you can do something like, you can read it something like, if I apply this commit, it will add code climate default config. Okay, so you should be able to read it like this. We committed it. We're just great. Let's do some other thing. Let's add a badge. Let's say we want to have our badge here in Markdown. And where do we put it? In README. On top of here, we put our. Yeah, does it work? Actually, we should probably. This is the wrong name. We should probably put it like this, fog. Right. Hopefully, like if it works. Okay. Well. How do I write this commit? Go ahead. Give me options. What's the commit message here? So I added a badge to the README, right? To see the come on, don't be shy. The commit message. Add badge. Like you can have multiple badges. Be more specific than it. You have more characters. You have like 17 characters there that you can type. I like. It's actually code climate badge. Okay, we have test coverage badge. We have issue count badge. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Code climate badge. Add code climate badge. Great. So we have our two commits here. And we're ready to rock, right? Okay, so that's about it. We added code climate, we added the default configuration to it, we added our badge. We're cool. It's all done on our branch. And now we want to make a pull request, right? So that's simple enough. You go ahead and git. Okay. Pull requests are not actually something from Git. You do know that, do you? Okay. It's a little weird to have a very silent crowd, but
Yes.
pull requests are actually a feature from GitHub. They invented the term of pull request, right? So this is why Torvalds, the inventor of Git, actually give them a lot of flameware about this stuff, pull requests. When he moved the kernel over to GitHub, it was all like, your site sucks. You have this shit called pull request. What's wrong with it? Okay, so but actually, most of the people disagree with it. Anyway, to be noted that these are an invention of GitHub, right? I see a lot of people that are going ahead and say, I'm using Git and I do pull requests with it. You're using GitHub and you're doing pull requests with it. Like you're doing pull requests on GitHub. There's no feature called pull request in Git, right? So the way GitHub does pull requests is that it just compares a branch to another branch and shows you the differences, right? So those differences can be commented with. So this is why we created this initial branch, our branch, right? And our branch needs to be compared to what branch? Master, exactly, but what master? We have like three upstream master, exactly. The upstream master. We have a main master, a gold standard master. Like we have three masters now. We have our local master, okay. We have our origin master, which is our fork, and we have upstream master. So in order to be a pull request, like in order to be a meaningful, well, we need to be compared. So we need to compare it to upstream master, right? So how do we compare? Like if it's a GitHub feature, they make it really easy for you. You push your branch to your fork, and then when you go to check it out, like when I go here, it just said you recently pushed branches. Pop, 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 pop. Compare and create a pull request. I don't have to do anything. Like I press the green button here in the interface, just goes ahead. It's that friendly with us, right? So we just name something like what was that? What was that issue that we solved? Named add code climate. Okay, sounds cool. Add code climate. Okay. What do you like it? We create a pull request. Bang! And there we have it. Our brand new pull request.
Asana ticket number, please.
Yeah, we can put very observant. Yeah, you're totally right. We should definitely have our ticket number as Yax mentioned it. And I'm not sure how this can be done. If this works in code climate here. Bam. Okay. I was hoping that there's a way that I can refer this issue. It gives pull request. Ah, look, it works. Okay. So now, if I named my commits as they are supposed, like if I prefix them with the issue ID, then Git figures out that these commits belong to this issue, right? And these commits solve something on this issue, right? So this is exactly where we get on. This is where we get on Asana here. When you let me give you an example of. Okay, this is like, see, Yacht's doing all these sorts of these commits.
I'm a very productive engineer.
On your tickets, right? Unfortunately, like we still, yeah, because we do merges the way GitHub, we see these merges, but you can still see the messages like what happened here. The mail template got updated. The password got updated. The way you see them here, right? So this is why commits need to be prefixed, right? They will be automatically linked to a story, to issue trackers and so on. Okay, so we have our pull request right here opened. People can go ahead and review it. They this stuff. They can comment on stuff. I should have left that thing open, but anyway. So one thing that I want to show you, like this could end very well and happy by somebody clicking merge, right? And boop, it got merged and everybody's happy. But this doesn't really happen in reality all that often, right? Some other stuff might happen in reality. Some other stuff meaning that, let's say, another developer, let's call him Alex, works on some other feature, which is test coverage badge, okay? And as the branch says, his feature is supposed to add a test coverage badge to the Akamai, right? And the guy goes like, okay, I have a test coverage badge, cool, I can do that. Goes ahead and adds this thing here, adds the badge, great, and he says, bang, and he says, okay, in order for test coverage to work, I think there's some stuff that we need to do on Ruby. Okay, we have to add this gem, Ah, it's already added? Oh, how cool. I wonder when do I edit this? And then I have to require it and enable it in the spec runner. That's the thing. Require that and do a code climate test start. Okay. Thank other committees enable the code commits, right? So these guys also, this guy Alex, the other developer, also pushed his branch test. Let's say, yeah, okay. Push origin. So he pushed his branch. He went away and made a pull request also. Ooh. But he was more interested in the test coverage than into seeing the state of the code, right? The marks on the code. By the way, this is the trick with Code Climate before we move forward. It's a really good tool. So it basically shows you, it gives you an overall mark on from 0 to 4 on how great your code is, right? And you get marks on each class. Well, this is not very impressive because this is all A's. But let's take one that's more like, let's take this PHP application, for example, which has a mark of 2.8, right? And it shows you like you have F classes into it, right? You can look like at the F classes here, and they show you the issues. Like this has like a duplication into it, right? Which is a very, very bad thing if you have duplication into a class. Let's see, can we find something more interesting? Anyway, the thing with Code Climate is it will show you, and in this one it also shows coverage. It will show you the mark on different classes, and then when you get reports, and then when you fix a class, you get a badge saying, "Oh, congratulations, you just improved the class from D to A," for example. So this is a very good gauge to figure out some of the most common issues, like formatting issues, security vulnerability issues like duplications. That's duplication that also avoids. We'll get that in a. So that's a cool tool. You should use it if you. It's free for free projects. So yeah. Okay, getting back to our pull requests here. So right now we have 2 pull requests, right? One that added a badge and Code Climate, just the Code Climate badge, and one that added the test coverage thing, still from Code Climate, but it's a different badge, the different badge, right? Now we merged them in the order that they arrived, right? For the sake of simplicity, I will do the merge like using the merge button. Okay, I'll do like merge pull request, confirm merge, and pooh, it is merged. Like the one thing that I prefer to do here is that to delete my branches. I don't like to have many branches. I'll go ahead and delete the add okay. After a branch was merged, I don't like to have it around. It was merged, it's all master, and it's great, right? Now, we merged one, and we want to move to merge the second one, and bang! What do you see? It cannot be merged. Now, that is a problem. It's not a big of a problem, but it does happen in reality, right? I think we've seen it a couple of times, right? So it cannot be merged with the little green button. Everybody's disappointed. Now, how do we solve this problem? Now, in order to understand, in order to know how to solve something, we need to understand what the problem is, or how do we arrive at this problem, right? So, what do you guys think happened here? Why can't we merge this branch? Yeah, exactly. So as Nikhil is saying, is anybody paying attention to this except Nikhil?
Yes.
Glad to see you react. I want to see you more active. No. Okay. Who's Sacco, by the way? Is it
Nikos?
Nikos. Okay. Okay. I thought it was one of our public cloud.
Right. That's hilarious.
Am I Sacco again? Sorry. Yes, you are. Okay. So Nikos is not paying attention, so we can excuse him. But the rest of the fellas, you have no excuse, right? Similar files were changed. README file was changed, right? Git tries to be pretty smart, but some things even Torvalds, in his all wisdom and programming skills, couldn't figure out how to solve, and he needs to fall back on us, right? But let's take a look at how things look, okay? Before we can take a look at how things look, we need, okay. Boop, boop, boop. Check out. Forward. Great. Just to be there. And let's see how things look now. So we have this, okay? So let's see, look good. Okay, looks good, right? So this is our head, and this is, we can see we merged the code climate thingy, okay? And our branches are, okay, so we added code climate default config, we added test coverage, and getting got merged. But in the meantime, somebody did this stuff. Somebody added the test coverage branch and added the code climate test coverage, enabled code climate test coverage, right? So this was done in the meantime, right? So this is interesting. Like, we will like to have the branch as a continuous flow of events, right? So we would like to have these things. Ideally, they will be something like this, okay? In a straight line. Add Akamai, add code climate badge, add test coverage badge, enable code climate test coverage, okay? We would like to have something along these lines. Everything should, all the events should be, well, actually not like this. They should be something like this. They should be add code climate default config, add code climate badge, merge pull request, add test coverage badge, enable code climate test coverage, right? So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to have, right? So it falls down to the person that created the pull request to fix the pull request.
So don't expect this from the reviewer or from somebody else. It's your responsibility as the initiator of the pull request to fix your pull request, right? And the way you do that.
Sorry to interrupt you. That was precisely the question I had queued up for you here. So under really proper, good protocol, under no circumstances should a reviewer really make alterations where there are conflicts.
No. Right. Like this is not that the reviewer is evil and doesn't want to help.
Right.
It's that,
No.
that you know your changes, right?
Much better than a reviewer. Yeah.
Exactly. Better than a reviewer. You know what files you changed. You know what changes you made. So this is why you should fix your stuff. So the way you fix stuff, well, the way I prefer to fix stuff is using a combination of tools, right? So first tool that I will use is rebasing. I want to move my branch, my commits on top of what master looks like now, okay? So to achieve that thing of straight lining, right? And I will use a visual tool, and there, of course there will be a conflict, and I will use a visual tool to solve that conflict, okay? So this is hardcore, guys. Just follow me. It took me a while, but this visualization helps. Think of it as a line of events, right? So we have this one, we have this one, we have this one. We want our two commits from here to be on top, to be after this one, okay? So our two commits are now on a branch called test coverage branch, okay? And we want to put them on top of master. The way you do that is you check out. First of all, any ideas how you do that? Yeah, you merge to master. That's an idea, but this doesn't bring you like this will make this branch actually merge into this one, which looks interesting. But it's difficult to achieve. Git diff shows you the differences. I'm not sure how it helps now. Merge works, Rachel, but I find it rather complicated. And the reason I find it rather complicated is it has all this, like, you see this, like, my goal is to achieve this straight line. Like right now I have all these branches that got merged into each other. Zoran, 10 points for Zoran. We do a rebase. We don't do a straightforward rebase. We do git rebase master. Okay, so remember, we are now on our branch, and we did fetch our master from upstream. So we have our latest master, okay? So we do a rebase on top of master here, right? You can do it like this, or you can do it like an interactive rebase, right? Where you get the chance to update your commit messages, okay? So let's say I do an interactive commit, and it shows, okay, it shows me the messages, and I want to modify this commit. I want to commit. So the rebase command does exactly what it takes. It takes your so Nikhil asked what the rebase command does. It takes your branch, like imagine like your branch, like a branch of a tree, okay? And with these two commits, and moves it on top of another branch, right? Okay, for this to work, it adds like now it adds test coverage, this commit and this commit on top of this branch.
You'll see how it looks in a second. So I chose to do a
Can I interrupt you for
Yes.
one moment? Sorry, I have to depart. I have an interview to get to. But I just want to thank you, Colleen. Great presentation. I'm going to watch the rest when I get
Okay.
out later today. So
Okay.
great seeing you
Okay.
all here. Continue on.
Okay.
All right.
React.
Bye-bye.
So I did. It's just locally, right? Everything you do until you do a git push, everything is local. So you can mess up with everything, and then you do a git reset hard, and that's it. Bam, nothing happened. Okay. So I did a git rebase -e interactive on top of master, right? Git rebase -e master. So the interactivity part about it allows me to change my commits, to shuffle them around, right? I can remove some commits, I can squash some commits, I can reword some commits. And for the sake of it, let's reword this commit, right? Which was the second commit. And we write and quit this file, and poof, we have an issue, right? It says, well, I couldn't apply add test coverage badge, okay? Because there is a merge issue, right? Who would have expected that? I know who. Nikhil said. Nikhil would have expected that because we modified the same README file. So in order to there are a couple of ways to work this issue. Let's see first what it looks like. Like right now, where is it? README. Oh. Okay, so right now, if we look at the README file, we have these wonderful things, right? Head and this stuff, right? You know what this? I think you guys you've seen this stuff before. This is because of a merge conflict that wasn't solved, right? This is a merge conflict. Right now, if we look at our status, we are in the status of rebasing. Our rebaser said here, well, when you resolve this problem, just continue your rebase as normal. But first, you have to resolve this problem. Now, there are a bunch of tools. I don't do this from console. I can do this from console, but it's rather confusing, in my opinion. There are a bunch of tools that you can use out there, including what do you have? SourceTree, I think you have on Macs. I don't know any good ones on Linux, unfortunately, except for the build ones from this tool from JetBrains, from RubyMine or WebStorm or whatever you guys you're using if you want to use. Nah, I'm not sure. I'll just show you how to solve the conflict from here. How I solve the conflict from here. I just go resolve conflicts. I go get a merge, and it shows you like, okay, it shows you the local changes. Like your local changes are the ones that local changes are from the branch that you wanted to rebase. Okay, so you remember you did a git checkout. When you did a git checkout, these are the local changes. The branch you were on, right? So we were on the test coverage branch, right? And this shows you the changes from the server, which the changes from the upstream with things that got merged from upstream, right? Now, in this case, we want both of these badges, right? So we'll get this badge, we'll get this badge, and we're finished. Pam pam. It was simple as this. So right. So the other way to solve this conflict was just to edit those squiggly brackets and add both files. Okay, we solve the conflict. We go continue, and here is our commit that we solved, and here is our commit with the that we commit for editing, right? We selected a rewording for this commit, and let's say we want to change the commit here, enable this is min test. instead enable code climate mini test coverage. Okay, we reworked it and everything is great. Okay, so the rebase is successful. So let's see what we did. Let's see how this stuff looks. Okay, this is how it looks. Check it out. So on top of master, we now have add test coverage badge and enable code climate mini test coverage. So we have our commits on top of the existing master, on top of the upstream master, and furthermore they are also corrected. They are also like they have a we were able to edit them and correct them, and everything was smooth here. Okay, so right now this is the tricky part, right? This is well, it's not tricky, but this is something that you might Rachel might like better, for example, if you use merge. With the rebasing approach, especially if you rewrite your text over your commits, there is no way you can push this with a normal push to do a push here with test coverage. It will break. It will not allow me because, well, it's rejected. The commits are totally different, right? The branch has a different starting point. So the way you do this is git push f. I mean, you force the push to or in test coverage. You force the push to your branch. This is, in my opinion, this is the only acceptable time when you're supposed to do a force push, right? On your branch after you did some rebasing. So you're doing it on your own stuff, right? You're not doing it on anybody's else stuff, or you're just doing it to hide things. You're just doing it on your own branch, right? So now if we look at this, the reason we have to force push, let me explain this again, is that we basically changed the starting point of our branch, right? So the branch in our fork, the code, the test coverage badge branch in our remote and our local branch, they have different starting points. So now Git doesn't know anything, like it considers them as being a total different branches, but with the same name. So that's a downside of rebasing. The good side of the good part of it is that you have the chance to correct your messages. You have the chance to to make sure that you're on top of the latest master, right? To avoid a force push, you could do a merge, as Rachel suggested, but this makes the history a little convoluted. You'll have, okay, I merge my branch into master, and later on the master merges my branch into another master, which looks weird. You will see that things will become really clear in using rebasing here. So now everything looks cool here, and now when we evaluate, when you see the file changes, we see that okay, this is the stuff that would merge. This is the stuff that actually was changed from the latest master, right? So we should use. Oh shit! This is dragging too long. We should have to fix conflicts rarely if we divide our work good, but we should have to do rebasing if we have branches or pull requests lingering for a long time. So if you have pull requests that are lingering for a long time, it's usually a best practice to do rebasing. And in the advanced class, if there is an advanced class, I can show you some other tricks with rebasing and squashing and how to get a really smooth timeline for your game. So we go ahead and merge this one. Everything is merged. Don't forget to delete it. Keep your house clean. So now let's see what our stuff looks like. Okay, now stuff looks good, but still a little uglier. Like you see, you can see the commits here going like, okay, commit and then pump commit and get merged, commit and get merged. But they're almost in a straight line now, but they are one after another, right? Everything starting to fall into place. So almost good. We can do better, but for what we need now, this is perfect. So a quick recap before we close this one. Always fetch for upstream before you start working. If you're in the middle of, like, if you started, you have a branch, you start working, right? Fetch from upstream, bring your master to current, and then rebase your branch, rebase the branch that you're working now on master. So you're sure that when you open a pull request, there are no conflicts, there are no merge requests, right? You come to the office, you start working, you do fetch master, you do fetch upstream, you bring your master current, you do rebase on the current branch. If you have an ongoing branch, or you just branch from the top of the master that you brought now, right? Then you open a pull request by pushing. Take care of your commit messages. If you screw up the commit messages, no problem. You can always do a rebase interactive, or you can always do a git commit amend. You can search that online, see how that looks like, and everything will fall into place. You can do as many commits as you want locally, but you have to squash them before you have to, how do you call them, broom them, is that the term? You have to review them before sending a pull request, right? Because this stuff, once it gets merged into the gold copy, this is how you look, right? You would hate, like, if you read the commit messages, you hate to see something like fixed 2, fixed 3, fixed 4, fixed 5, fixed whatever, right? This is not professional for stuff like this to happen, right? Well, in a nutshell, this is the workflow. The crux of it is fetching master, fetching upstream. That's what all it takes. Any question, guys? Silence. Well, in the case everybody agrees with this and understood these things, I expect them to be well put in practice. It took me a lot of time to arrive at these practices. I don't expect you to believe me that this is the right way to do it, but it does, in my experience, for now, it does work, and it does help a lot the teams that I work with, and the process of developing software, this particular workflow. Do test all this stuff on your own. Do ask me questions on Slack. If you have, when you have questions, because you'll definitely have questions, but try it on your own. and work. It won't just appear in your mind and simply you'll know how to do it if you don't try it. So do we do the same thing when there are newly merged PRs and we're developing under a branch? Yes. So I'm not sure if this is what you asked, Darren, but let's say you are working on your branch, like a great dashboard screen, okay? And people are merging in the front end stuff. Like, I don't know, the login screen gets merged, forgot your password gets merged, and you're still working on your branch, right? Now, at this point, you come back in the office at, well, you want to start working at some point, you fetch upstream, you see that all this stuff got merged, you bring your, okay, you look at it and you say, oh, that's cool stuff. You bring your master current, okay, and now what you want to do in order to make sure that you have no conflicts and you're working, you can basically use some of the features that would get merged. You want to do a rebase. So you want to rebase your dashboard screen feature, dashboard screen branch on top of master, right? You rebase it. You solve any merge conflicts if there are any. They shouldn't, because you worked at the dashboard branch, so there's nothing has to do with the login screen. But like, okay, you rebase it and you continue working. But now you're working. You also have the latest master, and you also have your features that you added, right? Does this make sense? Just try it once or twice, and it will make sense. I'm probably not the best presenter on this topic, but if you try it on your own, it will make perfect sense at some point. Anything else, guys? Oh, thank you. Well, unfortunately, Darren, I cannot show you cherry pick now, but I'll like, if there is enough, next week I'll propose that if there is enough volume, I can show you features like I can show you squashing. Just one moment, I have to take this call. Okay, guys, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so I was saying if there is enough forum next week, we can go over some advanced features like cherry picking, like the trick with patching that I showed you previously, squashing a pull request in a branch, just to eliminate those like test commits that you made. Yeah, and some other stuff that you might find interesting. Some solving conflicts, for example, from the console instead from a visual tool. I'll post the conversation. I'll post the topic. I'll propose the meeting on Slack if you guys want to participate. Then post your votes there, and I will see. Okay, my pleasure, guys. I really have to leave now. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch with you on Slack. Have a great day and use Git.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Ciao, bye.